My name is Serenne Kaplan. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I'm speaking to you from Johannesburg, South Africa. We went to bed on Friday night, the 6th of October, and awoke to a monstrous new reality. Overnight, our world had been fractured. In a matter of hours, we learnt of the unleashing of a level of violence and hate which our brains could barely comprehend. A grotesque wholesale butchering for no other reason than the blood that courses through people's veins. We've got no reference point, no file in our brains for the shock, the horror, the fear, the outrage, the vitriol, and the pain. We became a sorrowing nation. Our collective grief is crushing. When hearts break in Israel, ours break too. How do we bear the unbearable? As Jews, our history will always sponsor our people's present. Here we go again. If Tehillim or Psalms that we read in times of distress once sounded remote and unrelatable in their lament over foes hell-bent on destroying us, suddenly the words jump out of the pages, and just like that, King David's reality becomes ours. We are not all right, are the 4 words that the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, said repeatedly in his recent public address. We are far from all right, and none of us are exempt. That hostage is the same age as my little sister. She looks exactly like my granddaughter. My friend's grandmother was taken, her daughter shot in cold blood next to her. My friends, this is the face of terror. The strain and the worry have become our constant companions. When events are unfolding at breakneck speed and casualties mount in this Fauda-like landscape, when we have no idea of how this might escalate. Where's this conflict headed? There's no putting the genie back in the bottle. This is not the 6-day war. We know that this is unlikely to be a one-day game. We have to brace ourselves emotionally. So it's critical to be on top of our mental game. Let's start with our children. What do we even tell our children? We struggle as parents to reassure them that the world can still be safe. We often think of the land of Israel as being kind of like our giant security blanket. Our kids hear us say it. As long as we have Israel, we will be okay. Now, the gold standard here is to engage with your kids on a need-to-know, age-appropriate basis. Definitely answer all their questions as they come up, and definitely do not fob them off, lie to them, or dismiss their feelings. So now for some do's and some don'ts. What makes things better or worse right now? Now, I have 5 don'ts and 5 do's. Let's start with the don'ts. Now, this is a war being fought with rockets, gunfire, tanks, drones, missiles, but it's also being fought on social media. An information war is being waged, exposing the grittiest realities in high-definition visuals and polarized rhetoric all over the place. Our nervous systems are flooded if we overdose on these online images, if we binge on our news feeds. It's kind of like we trick our brains into believing that the more we know, the less helpless we'll feel. So here comes the first don't. Do not terrorize yourself by overexposure. Rather, create your own off switch. There is so much noise in the world right now. We have to turn down the volume, claim some respite from the intensity of it all. Find our own personal safe rooms, corridors of peace. Now, the second don't feel bad or guilty for holding on to sparks of joy. You are not betraying our brothers and sisters or minimizing the gravity of the war by being okay. In fact, it's a victory of our spirit for Jewish life to go on. Weddings, birthdays must be celebrated. Life must be lived and simchas marked. The international world has watched as Jews have gathered peacefully the world over in prayer. How military bases are united in song. Don't try and control everything. The key, the golden ticket to managing in a crisis, is to control only what we can. We have zero jurisdiction of what any of the main players in this nightmarish script will do or the action they might take, but we do get to control our chosen response. Avoid projecting too far into the future. Live in the present, not waiting for the pawpaw to hit the fan. Number 4, the next don't. Do not hoard your feelings. That will create a war inside your head. Your emotions need motion, but they are also catchy. So don't whip up others around you. Prophet of dooming and catastrophizing are unhelpful practices at this time. The fifth and last don't. This is not a time to isolate. Don't disconnect from others. Rather lean more heavily into your support systems. Hold your loved ones closer. Love them harder. Now for some do's. The first one. This is a time for both vulnerability and strength. So make sure that you create space for both. Our hearts are broken, but they are also strong. We are fearful, but we are also fierce. Number 2, step up to the plate. We are tasked to find our what. Now that this is happening, what can I do? Turn your pain into purpose. Change the agony into action. Transform the silence into solidarity. It's our job to meet the darkness with light. Our soldiers will do their job, but we have to do ours. We are being called to match evil with goodness, to give each other comfort, to stamp out atrocities with kindness, practice gratitude. It goes a long way to cancel out some of the anxiety. The third do, stand together. There can be unity without uniformity. We are seeing Hasidim dancing with soldiers, Bochrim praying for those in the field, the ultra-Orthodox embracing the secular. Together we are formidable. This is our hidden gift. The level of achdut, of standing united, has reminded us that we are way, way more than the sum of our differences. It's a fascinating thing that the suicide rate in Israel is at its lowest in wartime because people find meaning in banding together for a greater cause. We have to hold very tightly onto our tribe. The fourth do, hold on to hope. Renditions of Hatikva, the hope, are resounding in the unlikeliest corners of the globe, like Saudi Arabia. Oseh Shalom is being sung in Japan. It is holding on to hope that's an analgesic to our wounds. Now, we have forever been a light unto the nations. We have to be the fireflies in the dark tunnel, have a lighthouse effect on those around you. The fifth do: get out of your head and spend some time with your body. Imagine that there was a magic pill that would ease your anxiety, lift your mood, blow off some steam, improve your sleep and focus, soothe your soul. It's free and has no side effects. Now, that magic pill is called exercise. So walk, run, cycle, stretch, swim, anything. So, everybody, finally, in closing, we are a nation of emotional giants. We will prevail. We always do. Hashem shows up in our wars. He can do anything. Hashem could make it rain schnitzel strips if he saw fit. So pack supply boxes. Sign up to a Tehillim group. Give someone support who really needs it. May our leaders act with wisdom and discernment, and may all the hostages return home to their loved ones. May we continue to see revealed miracles in our time. Am Yisrael Chai.